Hi there everybody, it is day 25 of our daily wriggle, wiggle, month of motion, and I'm back in the Wells Road studio and I've just been teaching a one-to-one where we were taking a look at thoracic range, motion through the shoulders, through the shoulder blade, scapula, and opening through the chest. So we're going to do that exercise with you guys today because it's really good, and it's called book opening in Pilates. So you want to come and lie on your side. And you'll need something to support your head. So go grab a cushion that's quite substantial because you're going to be lying on your side. So you want to be allowing to allow the shoulder to have quite a bit of range. So 3 little yoga Pilates cushions are fine, 3 or 4. Find out what works for you, and you're going to come and lie down on your side. So coming down onto your side, doesn't matter which side. Facing the camera just so you can see. Bring the hands on top of each other. You want shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. My legs are stacked on top of each other and my feet are as well. And they're in a triangle shape with my heels in line with my pelvis. So sometimes it's quite nice to use the back of your mat and your arms are reaching out in front of you. So what we're going to do is I just want you to imagine there's a bar of soap in between your hands and you're just going to roll back and forwards, lathering the soap. And I want you to keep imagining sending this top hip away long. So it doesn't want to stay very fixed, but it doesn't want to kind of roll with you. That's it. And then for book opening, what you're going to do for this version today is inhale your hand to your heart center. Keeping space between the shoulder and the ear, so just be aware of anything lifting. And then from your sternum, from that breastbone area, can you soften and send the elbow back behind you? The head will come as well. Inhale and reach the arm long in line with the shoulder. And then exhale and carve it, arc it, reach it all the way back through. And it may go beyond these fingers on the floor. So you take a twist in the opposite direction. Same thing, the pelvis is staying stacked over itself, hip over hip, knee over knee, foot over foot. We inhale the hand to heart center. Exhale, soften and move around the rib cage. Can you imagine that top thigh reaching forward as you send your top elbow back behind you? Inhale to lengthen the arm. And exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it all the way back through. And again, inhale the hand to heart center. Keep this space. Exhale, soften. So I often imagine drawing that breastbone around back behind me. This opposite leg reaching away. Inhale, keeping the arm in line with the shoulder so it doesn't go down to the floor. And exhale to carve, arc, reach, and go beyond those fingers so you get that opposite rotation in the thoracic. 2 more times. Inhale the hand to heart center. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, carve it all the way back through. And we go again. Inhale the hand to heart center. Exhale, allow the ribs to move and find this rotation. The pelvis staying put, reaching that hip long. Lengthen that back arm. And then exhale to carve it all the way through. And then just to finish, we're going to do chalk circles on this side. So you reach the arm up overhead, drawing a circle all the way around on the floor, all the way back behind you. Let the hips move, the knees move, that's totally fine. And come back through onto the pelvis and again. So you're just allowing the body to find range and motion through the front of the chest as well. So this is pretty nice if you've been sat doing any desk work as well. Opening up through the ribs, through the front of the chest, this pectoral area, all the way back through. One more big chalk circle, just drawing a big circle around you, and come back through. And then take a moment lying on your back to just check in how that side feels in relation to the other side. So just note how that shoulder feels, how that rib cage feels, how you're breathing. You can kind of see the difference in me already. So you'll find a sort of sense of open release. And you might yawn as well because you're coming into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is really good. And then we want to take a little look at the other side so you can notice the difference in me. So you can turn your camera around or your phone around and just roll onto the other side, or I'm just going to move my cushions up here and go this way. So same thing, resting down, shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip, foot over foot. And just come down a tiny bit more. That's it. And take a little moment here, imagine that bar of soap in your hands, just have a little lather through. Note how the ribs want to move, anything that's going on through the top of the hip. And if you feel anything, feel that sense of drawing that hip away, down, feeling that sense of length. So you'll feel a bit of a pick up through here, a little bit of space between you and the mat. You can just stroke your fascia, allow the body to find that direction. So you want to help coax it to find where it wants to settle and rest. Bring the hand back on top. And then we go with the other side. Same thing. Inhale the hand to heart center. Check in, keeping a little bit of space between this ear and shoulder. Exhale and soften, allowing the elbow to draw and drop back heavy behind you. Inhale to lengthen the arm long and away in line with the shoulder. Exhale to reach it all the way back through. You can see my head was coming off, so just make sure that your cushion is back behind you, so you roll the head onto your cushion. Inhale the hand to heart center. Exhale, soften, allowing that sternum to come around with you, the elbow to lead, the ribs to slide around. Inhale to lengthen that arm. Exhale to soften and come all the way back through, going beyond those fingertips on the floor. You see that I'm going way beyond, so I'm taking my twist in the opposite direction. Drawing, inhale. Exhale, as you send that elbow back behind you, can you send your front knee towards the front of your room, away from the elbow? So you've got this opposite drawing of the knee and the elbow away from each other. Inhale to lengthen the arm. Exhale to carve it, arc it, reach it all the way back through. And again, inhale the hand to heart center. Exhaling, softening through the ribs. The elbows drawing back. Then you inhale and you almost increase that lever. And exhale to carve, arc, reach all the way back through. And then we're going to do our chalk circles. So holding a big piece of coloured chalk in your hand, can you trace out a circle up overhead, around and back behind you on the floor, past your hip, your knee and back around. Luxuriate in these, hang out in them, do whatever feels good. It's a really nice finish to your book opening. Feel that sense of the body almost wringing itself out, finding its natural twists. And then when you're ready again, come and lie on your back, checking in with how the body feels on either side. How the ribs feel, how the front of the chest feels, the collarbones. Breathe into the rib cage laterally. So can you fill up the ribs and soften? Good. Take a few more deep breaths here, lying on your back. You don't need to come up to join me seated. Notice that space through the front of your collarbones as you lie there. That sense of soft ribs, maybe a slightly heavy breastbone. That there's a bit more range in the rib cage now to breathe through. Inhale and exhale. Great. And then when you're ready, come to seated. So come up, cross the legs out in front of you, whatever way you want. Notice how the body feels, the head, neck and shoulders especially, through the front of you and down through the back. So we'll have moved through that shoulder blade and scapula area, allowing it to find more range as you reached around and over. And then as you took it overhead in your big chalk circles, you're almost allowing and inviting the fascia to open up underneath the armpit area, where we have a kind of tender fascial point when we're doing release work. So take a little moment now and just notice how the head can rest on top of the shoulders. The shoulders can reach long and away, they almost drop and fall away. There's a sense of release through them. And now you can take a slightly deeper breath into the full of the rib cage. And that's book opening and chalk circles. It's a really great exercise to do anytime you're feeling a little bit tight in the thoracic, where you want to find range or where you want to find your breath and calm the body down into its parasympathetic nervous system. It's rest and digest. Got the craziest hair, my apologies. So well done for tuning in today for day 25 of our daily wriggle, our month of motion. Doesn't have to be long all the time. It could just be one exercise with a lovely focus and finding of our breath. We're nearly at the end of the month. We probably want to finish the month with something a little bit spectacular and maybe a little bit longer. I'll let you know as I formulate some plans. But have a great Thursday evening, afternoon, wherever you are, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye, guys.